Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market and Deli. Tonight's special guest that we have with us is Dr. Ryan Bland. He's a doctor of chiropractic medicine and functional medicine practitioner, speaking on the topic of your magical personal ecosphere. Thank you so much, Dr. Bland, for joining us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to come on and support Marlene's Market. Great food, great people. If you haven't been there, check it out. I'm really excited to share a new topic that I've been thinking about. But first, I want to just start with the basics because I feel like so much nowadays gets lost in translation in terms of health. So let's just define what health is. And simply, health is the state of being free or freedom. And it's free specifically of illness or injury. Bad health, when you think of bad health, you think of illness, injury, but more so on a cellular level, you think of cells not having the amount of energy they should be. And if your cells in your body have the correct energy they should be, and your nervous system is working appropriately, you should probably be in the best health of your life. But as we age, sometimes we notice the light dwindles a little bit. And we are in this world of good and bad health, and good and bad foods, and this duality consciousness, the way we think of these things. I don't think it's the best way to be thinking about these things. So I kind of want to redefine and simplify the internet because there's just like a lot of information out there. And I see people every single day coming into my practice, and we are now really digesting information in a different way. And every time somebody comes in or a new patient walks in, they just don't come in with their issues. They've come in with the information that they've possibly downloaded to their memory or to their consciousness off of reading it off of social media. And now everybody has different opinions, and there's no such thing as good or bad. But we find that people isolate themselves in different groups on the internet, and we're going to get into that pretty quickly. So to define what your diet is and nutrition, most people, when I ask them this, they give me this long-winded thing, but simply your diet is what you eat and nutrition is what you absorb. And then I believe there's about 4 eating paradigms where people kind of fall into place. The first eating and would be what you want to eat. People just say, I eat what I want to eat. I see food and I eat it, the seafood diet. And some people eventually will fall short here because, you actually have to do a little something for your health, as your health is reliant on your diet up to 90%. 90% of the expression of your health is from the nutrition we eat. So the second one would be intuitive eating. You see a lot of people, I eat a lot of protein, but sometimes I have to stop because my body told me. And this could be successful from time to time, and it's good to have this. And then you go on the internet, and this is where a lot of people lie. And a lot of the information is coming from is the camps of eating. Are you paleo? Are you vegan? Are you carnivore? Which influencer do you support? Which challenge are you doing? And these things are all pretty well and good to a certain extent, but I find that a lot of people fall short, and they're not eating for, which is the last paradigm, which is your biochemistry. And how do you eat for your biochemistry? You eat based on your specific chemistry. And there are so many ways to test and figure out which foods are good and which foods are bad for you, but there's no generalization that garlic is good or garlic is bad or coffee is good or coffee is bad. These things and all things are best in moderation. And the best thing to do is figure out which food sensitivities you might have. Now, a lot of people don't realize that the evolution of plants on this planet, these plants have to develop plant defense chemicals. And a lot of them we hear about lectins, which are in nuts, beans and seeds and grains. And these are poor things for our health in large amounts. And a lot of people eat a lot of these things every day. Then you have phytic acid, which is in a lot of grains. And all of these things will affect your nutrition and how you absorb food. If you have a diet high in lectins and high in phytic acid, it's going to leach calcium and some minerals out of your body that you need to survive and live a healthy and balanced life. And then as you go on, your body might not have enough calcium, and you might go into some sort of level of adrenal fatigue or dysbiosis or leaky gut. And then you have solanines, which are potatoes, tomatoes, ashwagandha is a solanine, goji berries, peppers, spicy peppers, bell peppers, and these can be harmful to those who have thyroid issues. But are they harmful to everybody? Not at all. Some people are sensitive to oxalates, and oxalate is another food chemical that's in, kale and other greens. It's even in some sweet potatoes. And when you're dealing with somebody who is ill, sometimes one of these food chemicals can be affecting their health. And I see it time and time again. And it's very funny because we look at vegetables as a healthy thing. And sometimes you get a patient in clinic with a thyroid condition or some sort of rash, and you realize that they've had too much green vegetables based on either applied kinesiology testing or hair analysis or just some kind of lab, a Dutch test, an oat test. All of these things are things you can find and figure out different ways to go about correcting your diet and correcting the course. The more information a clinician can gather, both through physical means and lab analysis, the better you can treat the patient. So there are all of these different chemicals, but are they bad? Well, unless you want to just eliminate things for no reason, there's no reason to start being afraid of all these things and living in fear. You should work with a practitioner instead of just joining a group blindly because you think it sounds good. You should be eating for your biochemistry and what suits you best in your life. Now, the way applied kinesiology works with testing these food sensitivities is through the muscle test. And the muscle test is a neurological response. And not only is it telling us the possible issue that the body could be having, but it can give you a really great idea of where to start immediately, right away, before you even are able to send out for the labs. And then you get the labs and you're able to look and compare your findings. And the more things you're able to reference, the better the patient will get. And we create this level of our health ecosphere through eating a diet that you are getting as much nutrition out of it as possibly can, because our metabolism and the energy in our body is spent up to 85% of the energy in our body is spent on metabolism. So it's really important to eat the best you can for your specific biochemistry. And then another thing that we all do to create this ecosphere is supplementation. And supplementation is part of our overall diet, because our diet isn't just what we eat. It's our diet from our food. It's the supplements. It's the water we drink, the mental health, our relationship. This is your diet. If you didn't see my 10 health commandments, it goes deeper into that, but we'll continue for today and talk about supplements. A lot of us take supplements, and there's so many things online that you can do and you can take. And a lot of times people just want to take these things blindly. And you don't realize that, hey, just by taking selenium for your thyroid, you could throw off your menstrual cycle if you take it in the wrong amount. These are just simple things and things I see on a daily basis. And it's because there's just very little factual scientific information. It's just as a matter of fact information based on personal experience online. And people tend to like to gamble, and I see no reason to gamble or waste time, because supplements are not created equally. First of all, the encapsulation process between different products are extremely different. The first thing, for an example, a lot of companies, they use what's called magnesium stearate. Magnesium stearate is really bad for your immune system, and it's bad for your gut health, and it's really irritating on your body. So if you're taking a supplement and you want to feel better, why would you, or why would they put this thing called magnesium stearate in it? Well, it's cheap. It's a cheap encapsulation process. It binds it a little bit better. But at the same time, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're taking one step forward and two steps back. So it's really important to take the correct supplements for you, but also source them from a place that will show you third-party certificates of analysis. Time and time again, I have the conversation with people to stop buying their supplements online for Amazon. There is actually a recent study with over 50 products, and out of 50 products, only half of them actually had what was supposed to be in them. And some of them were counterfeit. Some of them didn't even have what they said that were supposed to be in there. So when you're choosing supplements and you're trying to figure out how to elevate your level of vitality and make your situation better and add to it, there's a lot of thought that goes into it, and it's a lot more than it seems online. And there's a lot of people with promises and cookie cutter plans. I see a lot of patients coming in on these cookie cutter plans, and they still need further assistance. They didn't really get further than square one, and they sometimes go back. And you don't want to see people go backwards. The purpose of my service to humanity is to move everybody forward. And it's really important to source your supplements from a place like Marlene's or a practitioner like myself, who is able to have a relationship with these actual companies. Most of the time when you're getting things from Amazon, you're buying from a third-party seller who is selling, just a bunch of other things, and they might have gotten the supplements from a garage sale. You don't know where they got it from, and neither do I. So there's no reason to gamble. And in practice, I treat it like research. I want to get the same results with the same things over and over. And if you're sourcing them from the same place, you can guarantee results. And I really like to pride myself in being able to guarantee quick journeys back to health and wellness. And this is really important. And I'd hate to see anyone get in a predicament of getting ill or having some sort of supplement related kind of event that took them back or, made them feel ill. It's just not where you want people to go. And we all are coming from a good place, but a lot of people aren't coming from a good place who are selling these supplements in the online world full of influencers. I feel like we're in a really cool place where people know information and they're bringing information with them in their visit. But sometimes I feel like it's very deleterious because, where are people really getting their information from? And it's a hot take most of the time. Most of the time, the information is a reinvention of another thing that they just slightly did something different. I see influencers talking about not showering and not using soap because it disrupts the microbiome. You can't listen to everything these people are saying. They're absolutely out of their mind. And I say to a lot of people, if somebody has the time all day to talk about health and wellness on their phone, are they treating patients? What kind of clinical skills do these health influencers know? I'm sure people have their experience from going from journey 1 to journey 2 and living the hero's journey and reviving yourself, and it's powerful and it's beautiful to share, but it's just good for a share because, like I said, what clinical training or information do these people know? What happens if the supplement they prescribed goes wrong? Do they know how to fix it? Do they know the right dosage? Do they know the chemistry of how the body works? Do they understand, how different metals and different compounds could be toxic in the body when they're using, less desirable substances and encapsulation processes in their supplements. So I think a lot of people are harping on the gimmick. And I think it's not about the gimmick. It's not about the red light therapy. These things are good, but what really will captivate you and creating your own and best self is radical responsibility and realizing that a lot of the information online is information that's biased. When you're reading information, it's not just the information. You have to look into who funded the research. Why is the research here? You know, big dairy is never going to write a bad thing about milk, but there are bad things and good things. And it's not really if it's good or it's bad, if it's about you and your biochemistry. And it's not about proving a political point, and it's not about proving anything else other than finding the truth on how to be the best version of yourself. And that's really what we're doing here in clinic. So we really need to start getting back to just the basics of things, and realizing that health and the pillars of health, it's just very simple. We need really good sleep. We need a diet that we're absorbing the nutrition from. In this day and age, I think everybody should be taking some kind of supplement to detox or to boost their immune system. No, nobody is the best person in the world. So why not put a little work in and exercise, all these things that we all know how to do that seem so simple, but yet not all of us do them. You know, I can sit here and say that seed oils are bad and you shouldn't go to McDonald's, but we already know this. This is redundant, but why can't we stop? Why can't people stop? Why can't people slow down? And sometimes it's because they're not well and they're trying to, cover, a symptom up with some sort of poor lifestyle choice. But it's interesting when, you see me on Instagram and I'm cooking a bunch of steaks. A lot of people are like, oh my God, how can you eat that much meat? But nobody says anything to the kid's parent when they're eating a Chick-fil-A chicken nugget with 100 ingredients in it. So I think that our ability to metabolize and digest information is something that really needs to also change in order to create this proper ecosphere of our body where we can really reach out and feel the best and do the best we've ever can, because we are building up this level of prevention and building up this level of vitality. And the way we think about disease needs to change, because a lot of people, if they have a parasite or they have a fungus, they're like, oh my God, that's gross. How do we get rid of it? How do we kill it? How do we kill it? And a lot of also physical patients come in, like I tweaked my neck. Can you just give me a really hard adjustment and just and rip it off? And then you have people trying to lose weight and they're yo-yo dieting, aggressively, destroying their hormones quickly. And I see all of this in my office all of the time. And I've recently had to stop people and be like, look, like, we're killing these things. Killing a parasite will cause immense discomfort, and you'll get worse, and you might continue to get worse and stay worse if you have this mindset of let's kill it. And we want to be in a place where we're harmonizing with these things and creating a different terrain, creating a level of prevention. And recently, from after moving out here, my son, to give you an example, my son has pretty bad allergies during this time of year when it's raining pollen. And we recently, in February, started a specific diet and supplement regimen. And this diet and supplement regimen built him up a level of prevention to now, I think I might have heard him sneeze 1 or 2 times the whole allergy season. We spend a lot of time outside. So it's important to think about your health as not trying to kill the bad guy or get more good guys. It's about creating a level of balance and harmonizing with that and creating the terrain that you want, slowly, strongly, and effectively, to create lasting change, because you can only move so fast. If I can get a patient to move a couple of degrees each visit permanently, I think that's great. But when you try and kill things, and I watch practitioners, patients come in under other practitioners, guidance. I see people just really trying to kill stuff. Phase one, kill the parasites. Phase two, kill the fungus. And in my practice, I think I'm successful with a lot of people in their healing because I look at everything. And I'm not looking to kill. I'm looking to find harmony. You need a certain amount of virome in your body. Our body is 70 trillion cells, all being controlled by your nervous system. And it needs energy, and it needs sustenance, and it needs life. And this is really, really important to sustain a optimal or superior than optimal life. And I think that a lot of doctors aren't treating for everything at once. They're kind of piecemealing it, and they're not getting results. So what I'm really proposing here today is really simple. I know I said a bunch of stuff, but to just really break it down, we got to get back to the basics of finding what foods work, taking a couple of good supplements, doing a little bit of exercises, and loving the community we're in, and realizing that life is about harmonizing with what is around us instead of biohacking and killing and trying to put our bodies in this state of being of ultimate health. And once you get into a certain rhythm of this, you will be in the flow of amazing health, and you'll be creating your own magical health ecosphere and experience that's simple and comfortable, and it's going to leave you room to grow each day to become a better and better version of yourself. Because I really believe as we age, we're only getting better, and it's only going to get better, and we're only going to hopefully experience more joy and love in our life. And to create this space and to be around for our loved ones, I think we need to realize that we can heal. Our body is designed to heal. And it's all about finding a community of people and places to express this health. So thank you guys for having me. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer any health related topic.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Bland. I'm going to check the Facebook live stream here. I don't see any questions on there. What we might do is open up the questions just for the Zoom meeting. So we can say goodbye to our Facebook Live friends and get a little bit more personal in here. So
Cool.
thank you for all tuning in with us on Facebook Live, and definitely check out Dr. Bland's website. I put that in the comment section. Thanks for
Yeah.
watching.